day. Wonderful to have you with our sparkling conversation. And today, Delicia Babin is the facilitator with a very interesting topic about the elephant in the room. Thank you, Delicia.
Good afternoon, all of you. As you can see, I'm a nursing, what do you call it? Nursing practitioner. So in my line of work, there's a few things that we see often and that can really be reduced on a stress level dramatically if you just pay attention to a few statistics and then put a few things in place. And it sounds simple, but it makes a huge difference. So I'm going to start with a few statistics just to make you aware, and then I'll tell you what the elephant in the room is, because it's a very specific part of what we're talking about. So did you know in South Africa there is currently 100% death rate? Not one person is surviving. We all pass away at some stage, and COVID has taught us that there is no way you can decide when it's going to happen. You've got no control over that. About 20% of these 100% of people that die have a will, a normal will that tells whoever's around what your personal possessions should be done with. About 3% of the 100% has an advance directive or a living will. So the elephant in the room is none of this. The elephant in the room is the conversation about this. Because there's other research that was done in America, not locally, that says 80% of people, if you ask them where do they want to die, they tell you they want to die at home. 20% of people die at home. Why is that? It's because we're not having these conversations. We don't talk about death. We call it all sorts of things. You've heard of people passing on. You've heard of people pushing the daisies. You've heard of people fading away. You've heard all of this. And most of these words are used after the event has taken place. We don't say, what is it that you want? Should you be preparing to push those daisies? Ne? We've all lost people next or close to us, I'm sure. Some of us have had these discussions and you know that it makes it easier. Let me explain to you why I say that. Now you have a person that's been in a car accident. It's not planned. It's not a prolonged illness. There's no time for you during this time. If someone is diagnosed with cancer, you get time. That's the gift of cancer. As much as it's probably one of the worst things that there is, it forces people to talk. So now you're in a car accident, you've had no time to prepare. Doctor says, okay, guys, what do you want us to do? If there was a conversation at any stage where this person that's lying on the bed now that cannot speak for himself could tell you what he wants, doesn't it make the whole decision-making process easier? So then we talk about advanced directives and living wills. There's a lot of terminology and big words and all of it. But what today is about is having that conversation, deciding what you want and telling someone. Okay. We had in the first course that I presented, there's a course about this whole conversation. We call it Joyful Ending. The one person said to me, but she's got a living will. I said, where's your living will? Now it's with her financial advisor. Now, as a nurse, that's probably the last person I'm going to call when you're on your deathbed in my hospital is your financial advisor. Okay. Okay, so who knows that your living will is with your financial advisor? No, the financial advisor. Okay. He's also the last person that's going to find out that you're in hospital, probably. Okay. So it's very important, number one, that you have these things. Number two, that someone that's going to be in the room when you're sick knows where these things are. And number three, you have a choice about who's going to be in your room if it's in your advanced directive. So should you, sitting there, pass away today, please let it not happen. But should it happen, Who's going to close your Facebook account? Who's got the password to your Facebook account? Because if no one removes it, it's there forever. So someone should have access to that. And that's a simple social media thing. Eh? Now you get bank accounts, you get insurances, there's little pension funds, there's acute, annuities. Sharon, help me with your financial knowledge. There's hundreds of different things that people need to know and need to be able to use should you pass away. Okay. And the most important thing at the end is that your end of life wishes must be clear. You must be able to word them, and you must tell the right people. There's no point in you having this huge advance directive. Should you get so sick that nothing can be done for you medically, you would like to be taken to Switzerland and you want to be left there somewhere in the snow just for a day, then they come fetch you back and they must do this for you and rub your feet, but you haven't told anyone. Then you're going to die in an ICU on a ventilator because that's what doctors do. They preserve life no matter what. Okay. And then you get to the whole debate of caring versus curing. There's so much conversation that we should be having around these things, and we're not. We're all scared of talking about death. And that's the one thing that's for sure, for sure, for sure. It's part of the circle of life. It's a God moment. You meet God face to face twice in your life, the day you're born and the day you die. But we don't talk about death. So I just want to give you one quote, and that is a gentleman in America that started what they call death cafes. They have dinner meetings where people only talk about death and what they want. And it's not about telling those people what you want. It's figuring out for yourself first what you want. So he says, when the time comes to die, make sure all you have to do is die. You don't want to be there and panic about who's going to do what and who will know this and who's going to look after my pets and who. There is so much stuff around it. So in Joyful Ending, this is one of the things we help you with, is to figure out what you want. Because if I suddenly come to you and say, what do you want? If you cannot talk for yourself anymore. Remember, while you can make your own decisions, you can make your own decisions. These things are null and void when you can still say, lost my 8. But when you cannot talk for yourself, who's going to talk for you? And does that person know it? And do they know what you want? That's my question.